The next step, again, is I need a C-level door opener. I need some way of engaging. All right, here's 2 inputs. And once we provide those, then the platform automatically creates those outputs and customer deliverables. I'll toggle over to kind of share one just to give an example of what that could look like. But the first step I want to emphasize, and because a lot of time a key issue, and for those on the phone, is how do I handle the change management or the skill set of my team? And well, I've got inside sales and I've got enterprise sales. So help me get out of the gate with a starting conversation, 2 or 3 inputs, some nice visual teasers and deliverables, and hopefully I've earned the right to that larger conversation. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back into the platform. Now we're further in the discussion. The customer has interest. I've gotten their curiosity based on that directional conversation. Now that next level down in how that value proposition, those outcomes and how they were quantified, the customer understandably wants a little more transparency and visibility of how that came to fruition. So now I'm kind of at that level 2 within the platform. Hey, Mr. Customer, per that teaser that we discussed, there's ways we can increase your revenue, or as I click on productivity and the outcomes below change, or ways which we can reduce risk. And so this becomes now more of this interactive whiteboard. We're now with the customer, we're showing them that taxonomy of benefits across these categories and how they fed down into those individual business outcomes. Well, now you and I together, let's go into those business outcomes and let's actually see the inputs and assumptions and how those are quantified. And together as partners, let's talk about the right inputs, the right assumptions for your business. This is also the opportunity where we can go back to that library. Maybe the customer brings up something that we didn't have on our radar initially. So I'm going to go back and add additional outcomes or even create a brand new outcome on the fly for that specific customer. So a lot of flexibility. How do we take that initial launch point on that directional outside in and then gradually peel back that onion now at a lower level and make it a little more customer centric. Once we start populating it with the customer specifics and maybe a directional investment, there's a benefit, there's a cost, and how do we enable the conversation around that? And so yes, the kind of the ROI calculations, the net present value, a key one being not just the why, Mr. Customer, why you should act, but I want you to know the why now, right? Every quarter we delay over $200,000 in benefit we're allowing to escape. So at this point, we did that kind of second level review with the customer. We validated we're looking at the right outcomes. We modified some of the inputs to make them a little more in the context of the customer. And now we've got a customer who's really engaged. And now this is where the platform becomes, how do we change a customer from being an audience to an author? And so directly within the platform, this is where we have the ability to not only invite customers, but determine what is the right role. This customer, I want to bring them in on this conversation. We're still a little cagey. We're feeling each other out, but they can come in and at least review it online with me. Or the customer, they're being transparent. They're showing some vulnerability. They're giving me visibility to their environment, and they can both come into this collaborative case on the business outcomes as well as modify and provide overrides. Or this is such a champion. This is such a mobilizer for me as the provider. A lot of time the best conversation is customer on customer. I want to empower them to further democratize and evangelize this conversation and even invite their own peers and coworkers.